Good morning. Namaste. This is Dr. Uma Keduvital, Department of Food Biotechnology, Faculty of Agriculture and Veterinary Sciences, Jayoti Vidyapeeth Women's University, Jaipur. As you know, I'll be taking the course on metabolism and bioenergetics lab. We have so far covered the principles and operation of spectrophotometer, determination of the quantity of reducing sugars present in a solution using Nelson's Homogy method, and how to qualitatively determine the amount of starch produced by plants by photosynthesis by using iodine method. Now, in today's experiment, we will be estimating the amount of glycogen present in rat liver. But this will be using the method of alkali hydrolysis followed by ethanol precipitation and then sulfuric acid hydrolysis. And this will essentially give you reducing sugars, that is glucose, present in the glycogen. And once that is obtained, we will be estimating the amount of glucose present in the obtained from the glycogen and quantitatively calculating how much glucose was present. Now, if this would in essence be a qualitative assay, because we are not preparing a glycogen standard curve. If we needed to make this into a quantitative assay, then we should actually do this for different quantities of glycogen, like make a standard curve for different quantities of glycogen from the commercially available glycogen from, like, say, Sigma or Merck. And then using that, we could obtain the quantitative amount of glycogen that was present per, say, 100 milligrams or 100 grams of 100 milligrams of the liver tissue. But over here, we will be quantitatively estimating the amount of glucose that was released from the glycogen. And so this is a quantitative estimate of glucose that could be released from the glycogen. But however, this is not a quantitative assay for the glycogen itself. This is a qualitative assay for the amount of glycogen that was present in the liver. So coming to the experiment, the principle behind this is, like, you should be aware that glycogen is the primary storage molecules in mammals. So when we are consuming glucose, whatever the excess glucose is present in the cells, whatever the excess energy, the glycogen synthesis actually starts glycogen synthesis actually starts with glucose 1-phosphate, and then it will with that it will form the polymers of glucose in such a way that there will be the cross-linking between the glucose molecules. So what happens is glycogen is actually very stable in alkali, whereas the free polysaccharides are and other glucose molecules, they are not very stable in alkali. So what we are doing over here is something like you have your liver, you will be actually treating it with alkali. So you will be heating it with strong alkali, like 5 molar KOH solution is used for this. So once it is boiled with the strong alkali, what will happen is all the free polysaccharides, the free sugars, everything will be released. And the glycogen will also be released. And once the glycogen is released from the liver, like all the free reducing sugars have been disintegrated, and once that is there, then if you are adding ethanol to the solution, then the glycogen will be precipitated. And you could also use sodium salt, such as sodium sulfate, in order to give a higher yield of glycogen, because that can give a quantitative yield of glycogen depending on the amount of sodium sulfate used. And once we get the glycogen, Then it can be hydrolyzed using a strong acid such as H2SO4, sulfuric acid, and that will release glucose, because glycogen is essentially a polymer of glucose. And once we get the glucose molecules, it can be determined, its quantity can be determined by using either Nelson-Somogyi method that we had discussed in the first session, or we could use dinitrosalicylate method that will be discussed in a later session. So any of the methods which can be used for assay of glucose could be used, and we could obtain the amount of glucose that is present. Now, if we were to determine the amount of glycogen that was obtained, like in the case of Nelson-Somogyi method, what we did was we prepared a glucose standard curve using known concentrations of glucose. In the same way, we will have to do this entire process for known concentrations of glycogen that has been purchased by from like commercially available glycogen is there from like bovine liver glycogen and rabbit liver glycogen are available from Merck. So any of these could be purchased, and then we would know how much of glycogen was present in the liver, and depending on that, how much of glucose was released. And so with that, we could actually calculate how much glycogen was present, and that would be a quantitative assay for the glycogen. So coming into the principle of the method, as I said, glycogen is a polymer of glucose. And so if yeah, so glycogen is a glucose polymer, and when we are taking the liver tissue and then we are heating it in strong alkali, like around 5 molar KOH we are using, then it will be disintegrated. The liver tissue will be completely disintegrated, and treatment with this strong alkali like potassium hydroxide, that will lead to the degradation of proteins and the free saccharides, whatever are present in the liver. And what will be left will be the only the bound and polymers. And from that, actually, after once it has cooled down, then we can add ethanol to the solution, and then this will precipitate the alcohol, precipitate the glycogen. And once we have obtained the precipitate, we can centrifuge it and obtain the precipitate, and then wash it with water, and then dilute and hydrolyze it in concentrated sulfuric acid. Hydrolyzed in sulfuric acid. And once that is done, hydrolysis of glycogen will give glucose molecules. Complete hydrolysis of glycogen will give glucose molecules, and the glucose quantity can be estimated. Now, if you even know how many molecules of glucose on average makes one glycogen molecule in the liver, then also the calculations could be done. Like if you know that, then if it is available in the literature also, then you don't need to actually calculate or make a standard curve for glycogen. Instead, you could do this and make the calculations accordingly, that this many molecules of glucose will give this many molecules of glycogen. So this many moles of glucose will give this many moles of glycogen. So depending on that, like the average size of average number of glucose molecules in glycogen is around 120,000. So based on that, we could make the calculations and calculate how many moles of glycogen was present in a known weight of the liver sample. Now, coming to the reagents that you require, we will require the potassium hydroxide solution. We'll require 96% ethanol. We'll require concentrated sulfuric acid, and then also sodium sulfate, because as I had told earlier, we are adding sodium sulfate that will improve the yield of the glycogen in the precipitate. And then we'll require the standard solution of glucose and the reagents for glucose estimation. So in Nelson-Somogyi method, we had used the arsenomolybdate solution and the copper solution. So these reagents would also be required. Now coming to the procedure part. So in the procedure, it's the first step would be that you have to disintegrate the tissue. So you will take a rat liver, and from that you will cut and remove a specific weight, say about 5 grams. So or about 500 milligrams, that would be a much more appropriate value. So you are taking about half a gram of liver tissue from rat liver, and then you will be adding 5 ml of KOH solution that has been prepared into it, and then it will be this test tube will be placed in a boiling water bath for 20 minutes. So what happens? The potassium hydroxide solution will be boiling, and all the liver tissues, the free polysaccharides, the proteins, everything will be disintegrated. And once the disintegration is complete, then you will cool the test tubes. And once the test tubes have cooled down to room temperature, after that, we will be adding equal volume, like 5 ml of 96% ethanol to it. And once this has been added, then you will mix and heat the samples to boiling point of ethanol. Boiling point of ethanol is around 70 degrees. So you won't be actually heating it to 100 degrees, but you will be boiling it to 65 to 70 degrees. And then once that is done, it's the time for glycogen isolation. So what happens in this is you will have the glycogen in the form of a precipitate. So you will have to centrifuge the samples and then collect the precipitate and wash the sediment in 5 ml of distilled water and add 5 ml of ethanol and repeat the step 3. So that whatever the extra precipitates are there, and you can remove whatever excess is there, everything. So after that, the precipitate will be collected, and to this, we will be adding the sediment will be dissolved in 1 ml of distilled water, and then it needs to be diluted, because there will be a huge amount of glucose. If you are taking the entire glycogen from a even half a gram of liver, there will be a lot of glucose, and that much is not going to be detected. So what you need to do is, once this has been dissolved in water, it will be diluted about 100 times. So you can either add this 1 ml entirely into 99 ml of water in order to make it to 100 ml, and that will be 1 in 100. Or else, if you want to work with lesser volumes, take 100 microliter of this dissolved sample and add it to 9.9 ml of water, and that will also make a 1 in 100 dilution. And after this, to that, about 3 ml of concentrated H2SO4 will be added to 1 ml of this glycogen sample, and then again it will be boiled in a boiling water bath for 5 minutes. And once that is done, again cool the test tubes and add sodium hydroxide to it to neutralize the samples, because we are dealing with concentrated acid. So H2SO4, it will actually be quite hazardous. So if you are adding alkali to H2SO4, that will become sodium sulfate, and that was already used in the sample. So once the sodium sulfate is there, then this hydrolysate will contain sodium sulfate and glucose. So use a Nelson-Somogyi method in order to determine what amount of glucose is present in the sample. So again, as it was told in the earlier experiment for Nelson-Somogyi method, so you will have your glucose samples like 0.1 molar, 0.2 molar, up to 1 molar, and you will make a standard curve out of that. This glycogen hydrolysate will be your unknown sample. And with that, you will be determining what amount of glucose is present in the glycogen hydrolysate, and you will be finding the amount of glycogen in there, the amount of glucose in there. So what essentially you are doing is you will be quantifying the amount of glucose that can be released from 500 milligram of rat liver tissue. And that is the objective of this experiment. In order to find out how much glucose can be released from a specific known volume of rat liver tissue. And that will be your tabulated results. Like you will have your standard curve values for as similar to the Nelson-Fomuji experiment. And once you have that, you will have your unknown sample, that will be your glycogen, and you will give the concentration of that. So in there, you will have to multiply it with all the dilution factors in order to determine the amount of glycogen that is present in the amount of glucose that is present in your original sample. So what will be your dilution factors? You have 500 milligram of sample. So first you are diluting it in 5 ml and then collecting the precipitate. Since you are collecting the precipitate and you are assuming that the entire glycogen has formed in the precipitate, so no dilution factor over there. But after that, you are diluting, you are adding it 5 ml of ethanol to it, and then getting the precipitate, and from the precipitate only you will be working. So after that, it is diluted in 1 ml of distilled water, and from the distilled water you will be diluting it again to 1 in 100. So that becomes your first dilution factor. And then you will be adding like 2.9 ml of hydrogen sulfuric acid to it, and then adding 2 ml of sodium hydroxide. So all these will add to your dilution factor. So finally what you are having is 1 ml of glycogen sample that was already diluted 1 in 100, and that you are totally diluting it to about 6 ml. So your dilution factor over here will be 1 in 600 for calculation of your glucose concentration that was obtained from 500 milligram of glycogen. So you will tabulate the results accordingly and give the final result should be the amount of glucose that can be obtained from 500 milligram of liver tissue is equal to whatever the value you have found using your standard curve, and the glycogen hydrolysate as the unknown sample. So that will be the principal procedure and the expected results from this experiment. So what is the purpose of doing this experiment? Essentially, glycogen is the storage component for our in our body, and liver is one of the major places where it is stored. So in estimating how much glycogen is being stored and how it can be estimated and all, like you will have a idea of the reserve capabilities of how much glucose can be actually stored in the liver of in a healthy liver tissue. Now, if you were to this is used in multiple studies, if you have a normal rat tissue which has been well fed, and you are having a starved rat and you are taking that, then you could find out the differences in glycogen levels that is obtained, because the glycogen will be fast used up if the rat is starved. So these are all factors that will be experimentally determined. But over here we are doing the basic analysis in order to do study how to do the glycogen analysis, and that will be your takeaway from this experiment. So hope you have understood this. Thank you. Have a good day.